everybody. My name is PixelPerfectRuns. I am a streamer and speedrunner here over on Twitch, and today I'm challenged, so maybe we won't be under an hour. I don't know. We will. We'll see. But yeah, without further ado, let's start off the run. Start a little bit of countdown. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, let's go. Good luck. So, first game, SMB won the shortest game of all 6 that we're going to be playing today. The route is pretty simple. We take the mushroom in 1-1, fire flower in 1-2, and we try to keep the fire flower until the end. It's only 8 levels, 5 minutes, and there are 2 warps, 1-2 and 4-2. We're going to be able to showcase it to you in a moment. So, that's probably when we do Marihour, the most reset heavy of all 6 games. It's such a short game and it's so early that whenever we do a mistake, usually we reset at this point, so it can be nerve-wracking in a marathon setting for sure.
Definitely, yep. Used to just making a mistake and being able to reset, but no resets today.
Yes, and here it is. So Fire Flower, the reason we're picking up Fire Flower in this category compared to doing the run small only is because it's gonna make World 8 so much easier, especially 8-3 where we have to face Hammer Brothers, and we cannot really predict these patterns. It's based on the frame rule. So Fire Flower, we're just gonna run through and kill all of them with fire. So that's the main goal for a Marihour SMB one. Remember, like, it's a marathon of 6 games. It's not a sprint. We're not going for a world record here. We're just trying to beat the game as quickly as possible.
Definitely. An hour-long category, losing a couple seconds here and there is not as costly as losing a couple seconds in a 5-minute run, for example, SMB1.
Exactly. So 4-2 is coming. Let me explain what's going to happen here. We're going to do the wrong warp in 4-2. Basically, in these old games, the game can only load a second room, one single second room at a time, and it happens that in 4-2, we have 2 bonus room back-to-back, the warp zone and a coin cache. So what we want to do is we want to scroll the screen to the right to trick the game into thinking that when we're going to the second bonus room, we're actually going to the warp zone because we didn't reach the trigger. So that way, you see Pixel is scrolling the screen by ducking under there, kill all the Goomba. So Mario is a little bit to the right, he's not centered. And by going into this pipe, boom, right away, we're at the warp zone. And it saves time because otherwise you have to climb a vine, and by climbing the vine, you have to wait for the animations to stop. So it can save up to 8 seconds by doing this wrong warp.
Yeah, 4-2 is a crazy level. There's so much history behind it to how this trick was discovered and how it's perfected over and over again to do it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, there's a really good video. Summoning Saul did a nice history of all the strats that were discovered with... so losing fire, so that's gonna complicate things a little bit right there. One thing to notice, in World 8, there is no checkpoint, so if you die at any point into one of these levels, you're gonna have to start back at the beginning of the level, sorry. So for a level like 8-1, which is the longest in this category, it can be heartbreaking to lose 50 seconds because we die like at the staircase at the end, so we have to be careful, of course. So that's well done. There's a couple of backups to get the fire flower back. There's a mushroom in 8-2, and there are fire flowers in 8-3. I'm interested to see what you're gonna do right there. So 8-2. One thing I want to talk about here, frame rules. Something that probably a lot of people are already aware about. In SMB 1 and 2J, they are what we call frame rules. Basically, what happens is the game checks at the end of the level if Mario completed the level every 21 frames. So to quote Darbian on that, it's like a bus taking you to the next level every 21 frames. So if you miss the bus by 1 frame, you have to wait 0.3 seconds in order to get the second one. But on the other end, if you're a little bit lazy, you lose some frames, you can still make it to the next level with no issues on the same frame rule.
I'm going to try to pick up a mushroom right here. Yeah, we got the perfect pattern that I wanted. That's really, really nice, actually.
Oh, that's trolly.
I did not mean to do that. I definitely wanted to pick that guy up. Now, I have a really bad pattern here. Not very nice.
So now you see why we want to pick Fire Flower and keep it to this point. These Hammer Bros can be predicted if you know on which frame rule you are right now, but since we're doing Marihour and it varies a lot compared to world record, we don't know. So we want to put like the luck on our side by getting a weapon to fight these guys. already we are at the last level, 8-4, time flies.
Sure, yeah.
So 8-4 is a maze. We want to get the correct pipe. There are 5 rooms, so if you are not going in the correct pipe here, the room is going to loop. So wall jump right there, nicely done. So good, it saves about like 2 seconds if you nail that trick. Wrong warp on the 3rd room, and just like that, we're already in the 4th room. So the water section can be pretty tricky right there to do fast because of these fire bar patterns and loopers. And we've done that like thousands times, so
Yep.
it's not a risk. So last room, gonna be ready to... Oh!
I got trolled. Sometimes that Podoboo can be low. We call it a Loadaboo. And when that happens, it's almost impassable. I think there is technically a way to pass through that without dying, but I got unlucky with that, getting a Loadaboo, taking a death, having to start back at the beginning of the level. Unfortunately, but...
You're gonna be able to showcase once again the wall jump right there, 2 for 2. That's awesome. So yeah, Loadaboo, you can actually jump at the very end of that running platform, but the window is super small. Usually we have Fire Flower here, so if Loadaboo happens, we take damage, and with the iframes, we complete the game.
That's another benefit of Fire Flowers. We can just, like Super Mega Dow said, we can just damage boost through if needed.
Exactly. So let's see part 2.
Yep, there we go. So much nicer.
There. And just like that, touch the axe, we switch game. So we have to respect the timing for each individual games. So right there, the timing ends when you touch the axe. And it's the same thing for 2J. And you're going to see like the timing is fixed. And the loading and the switch game is part of the timer too. It's part of the category. You cannot stop your timer at this point.
Really quick, gonna hop in here as we change games. We already have a $50 donation from Shigyo.
Wow.
Pretty much getting us to the $700 mark. And they say, go PixelPerfectRuns and Super Mega Down. Marihour is such a fun speedrun to watch. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks,
Oh,
Shigeo.
thank you. Thank you so much.
We also have a $15 donation from Sagacious Jason. Sorry. So proud of Pixel for doing this. You are amazing. Thanks for the donations, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. Thank you everyone for donating. Again, !charity if you want to help out the cause and donate.
Yeah, thank you for your generosity. So just like that, we started SMB Lost level, so SMB 2 Japan, as we like to call it. The route is a little bit different than what we just did in SMB 1. We have a warp zone in 1-2. A pretty tricky one. This game was made to be a follow-up to SMB 1. So the first level of 2J is supposed to be like if there was an extra world in SMB 1, so the difficulty doesn't reset in this one. So right off the bat, you have challenging platforming to do. And look at that warp zone. There are actual enemies trying to kill you into the warp zone. And it's hidden behind this giant wall. So you have to know your way in order to get to the warp.
You'll hear us say this a lot, but this whole entire game, playing it for the first time, it feels like some sort of ROM hack. It doesn't actually feel like Nintendo made this game, because there are so many levels that it's just like really crazy level design. How did Nintendo ever expect, a casual player to complete this level? And yeah, that's why this game was actually never released in the United States. Instead, they released Super Mario Bros. 2 USA, which we will play after we complete this game.
That's a shame, because the experience of 2J casually, it might be hard, but as a speedrun, it's a fantastic run to do, and I love every single level of these of this speedrun for sure. So a little difference about the route. In SMB 1, we have a warp in 4-2, but here in 2J, the second warp is in 5-2, so we have to complete World 4 in its entirety and fight Bowser at the end of World 4. So a little longer, we have extra levels to play, I would say the approximate time of completion for a good run of 2J is about 8 minutes to 8 minute 30. So we're gonna see. We have room for making mistakes in the Marihour. We don't have to be perfect at every single game, and that's why it's fun too. Because we don't have to reset if we die in one level. We can still Marihour for sure. So 4-3, you see these giant gaps. It reminds me that you can play as Luigi in this game, and Luigi has different physics. He's more slippery, but he jumps higher and further away, making 4-3 much easier in Lost Levels. With Mario, you have to wait at the very end of these platforms in order to make it to the other side. Pretty technical and yeah, precise as well.
Yeah, it's nice how it is possible with Mario, but playing with Luigi makes it a lot easier, so it kind of gets the player interested in, you know, changing characters, seeing which character is best for each level, and playing out some, like, making some experiments and tests on their own. We're in 4-4 now. This is the only castle that we're going to beat. Not 8-4, but we are going to have to beat Bowser. Or I guess fake Bowser.
There you go. This ending can be tricky with the Podoboo, the fire bar, and Bowser at the end, so it was wiser to wait a little bit for the good pattern. You can risk it. Like, sometimes you can just run and based on the Podoboo location, you just react in time. But that's wise. In a marathon like that, it's wise to take your time at the end here.
Definitely, yeah.
Alright, so we enter 5-1. There's a little loading between 4-4 and 5-1 because this game is made for the disc system, the Famicom disc system that we never got in North America. So it's a floppy disk, and usually it has to load. So there's like 4 seconds of load time in between those levels. So World 5-1, there's a technique we're going to see at the end called a super jump. The physics is a little bit different in 2J compared to SMB1. When you bounce on enemy, you get more momentum. So we're going to exploit that to brush off a Koopa at the very end and try to climb this giant wall. Let's see that in action. So there you go.
Perfect.
All right, so perfect, yeah. Otherwise, there's 2 hidden blocks that you have to hit and climb this wall, and it can save up to like 5 to 6 seconds if you nail that trick. So really well done.
And now we're going into 5-2 immediately. Another very difficult trick, the Devil's Spell. Want to explain that one for us?
Yeah, for sure. Like I explained in 4-2 in SMB1, there's something called a wrong warp. Here, it's a different kind of wrong warp. Lost Level introduced the upside down level, and we want to clip into one of those pipes.
Yeah, the upside down pipe.
Yep. An upside down pipe, sorry.
No worries.
So, right like that, we want to clip, and as we're in the middle, we push down, and the game warps you. It does a wrong warp exactly like in 4-2. So it's technical, but there's some room. There's different setup also to get that wrong warp. This is the fastest way to do it. And World 8. So yeah, you're breezing through these levels. World 8, the difficult section in World 8, there's going to be 3 Hammer Brothers back to back. This one, the first one is pretty friendly. There's a second one, but the third one can stay up there or jump down. So he decided to jump. This is the harder pattern for Pixel since he's doing bottom route. There's a top route where you jump on that staircase, and it can be risky. This bro will ruin
that hammer bro can just ruin your run so easily. But I was lucky enough where he did not kill us, which is very, very good. And this level is crazy. This is probably one of the craziest level in the game. You're gonna see me hit a vine block. That's because the end of this level is actually hidden in the clouds. If you don't hit this block and you continue, this level will loop over and over and over again until you hit this block. So to a casual player, that jump right there is really, really hard. Even if you know where the exit is, to actually, do it is really, really difficult.
And one thing that you just showcased, fireworks. So fireworks in 2J, it works different. It's based off your coin count and the end digit of your timer. Yep. If they match, so in this case it matched with 4, it's gonna give you fireworks. Odd number are 3 fireworks, and even number are 6 fireworks. And there's a little thing also, if you have double 4 digit, like in this case, it's a 1-up. So you got an extra 1-up, so it can be useful for a casual player.
Definitely. Right there are actually invisible blocks that you would usually have to hit and find and then jump up due to that. But since I know where the invisible blocks are, you can just jump on them and finish the level very, very easily. But to a casual player, again, finding those invisible blocks could be very, very tricky.
Yeah, this game is really trolly. So 8-4, buffer jump at the start so we can get momentum to jump off the staircase. So once again, we have to find our way here to the end of the game. So we have different rooms. It's definitely inspired by 8-4 and SMB1.
Definitely, yep.
The G room coming can be quite weird. We have to do a turnaround, and since the momentum in these games works awkwardly, you can turn mid-air and with the momentum like reach the pipe.
There are a lot of setups for that as well. It's actually crazy. Like, whatever one, if you do happen to learn this game ever, there are so many setups, and it's really, whichever one works for you. And that one, I like that one. It's nice. Feels good. Coming up is our friend Bruce. Yeah, say hi to Bruce. Someone somewhere called this guy Bruce, and now his name is Bruce. So yep, hi Bruce, bye Bruce.
It's just like that. And Bruce can be annoying. Sometimes he jumps forward, sometimes he jumps backward. You have to wait. It can be annoying. And
that's actually
Bowser.
Yeah, that was fake Bowser. Okay, that's it. SMB2J is done. Switching to SMB2U. No time to spare here. We are immediately going to pick Toad as our playable character. The reason we pick Toad is because Toad he has a special ability where he can pick up enemies and gain a big speed boost. So you're going to see whenever we use Toad, we're going to try to pick up an enemy. So right here, first enemy, pick him up, and Toad immediately gains a speed boost, which you're going to use a lot throughout this run, throughout this game.
Yeah, until 6-2, where we're going to switch to Luigi for different reasons, and we're going to get to that a little later. One of the trick incoming is Shy Guy clip. So you're going to take damage to one of the Shy Guy and use him to push your hitbox down this ladder. And what it does is when you go off screen, it warps you to the very next room, and it happens to be the Birdo fight room. So you save time by doing that.
Yep. Usually you would have to blow up a wall that was there, blocking a door, and then you have to go through the door and climb up the staircase, but by doing that, it saves a decent amount of time, which is really, really cool.
If you like this speed game, honestly, looking at the world record run of this, there's so many tricks, it's insane.
It's crazy.
We're gonna try to showcase a couple of them, but this is one of the most insane game, I think, with SM64 in terms of world record. Alright, so we take this carpet right there. The reason we take 2 carpets is we want to build up speed, and by picking up an enemy, like we said, Toad gain extra speed, so that makes you have a boost on the carpet and reach the other side. Otherwise, we have a cavern, and we have to find the exit in the cavern. Casually, this is actually where I stopped playing, because I couldn't find the exit when I was young.
So 1-3. This game is very weird. You'll see, now we're in like a nice grassy plains, but in the next level we're going to be in an icy tundra. And we're actually going to take a wrong warp. Or not a wrong warp, we're going to take a warp. And this is actually a bit different than other warps. We're going to take a potion, bring it over to this vase, go in the door, down the vase, and boom, into World 4.
There's going to be a second warp incoming in World 4. That's the fastest way to beat this game. Again, the ice world.
Yeah, ice. Again, we're picking up an enemy as soon as possible to gain speed as quickly as possible. Incoming is my favorite part about the whole entire run. We get to see a rocket ship. There we go. Favorite thing about this game, favorite thing about the run. Sadly, the rocket ship does explode, but rocket ship was nice. He brought us up to the next section.
Yeah, that's a shame. Imagine if the rocket ship like leads you to the boss room and that's it, and like you beat the game.
Yeah, like, that'd be great.
That would have been perfect. But no, we have to play more levels. Alright, so this is one of the few levels where we don't fight a Birdo, and there we go, we trapped the Shy Guy in the wall.
Yeah. That's a swag strap, by the way. That doesn't save any time, that doesn't lose any time, that doesn't do anything for us, but it looks really cool. So you might as well do it, right?
That's pretty cool. So 4-2, this is where we're gonna get the second warp zone in the second room of this. So basically, pretty much platforming at this point, and like Pixel said, we're gonna use one of the potions to get to a specific vase, and on the vase, we're gonna throw the potion and get to World 6, where we're gonna have to beat the rest of the game. There's no more warps after that.
And we have whales.
Yeah, shout out to the whales.
Look at them. They're great. We love them.
Indeed. It's a little damage, and not a problem here, since in this game, compared to the other Mario games, if you take damage, when you start the next level, you come back as an original state, so you can have 2 hits, 1 more. So
yeah, you basically start as Big Mario from like SMB1. Instead of having to get a power up to become Big Mario, you start every level with that power up. Basically, it's a simple way to explain it.
Yeah, and there are strats where you take damage at the end on purpose in order to save some time, for instance. In all levels, there are definitely stress like that. So all of these bays that you see, you can go down, and the key casually is to find the good one with the key. Of course, we know exactly which one it is, but it can be tricky. Right down this digging section, we want to dig a straight line and do it as quick as possible because this shy guy up there was dropping on us. So we have to mash, but not mash like crazy. There's a rhythm to the digging in this game. Once again, fighting Birdo. This one will not throw eggs, he will only throw fire. So we have to be careful, especially in that case. Pixel was small, so taking a hit could have been a disaster at this point.
Picking Luigi in this level. Usually this level is a long auto-scroller where you have to fly on one of the enemies below me. But if you do good platforming, you can actually beat this level without having to be an auto-scroller.
And it's crazy, like the enemy placement right there, it feels like Nintendo did that on purpose because at the end of your jump, boom, like you have a bird, so it's like you do a big jump and right away there's another enemy, so it feels to me like it's on purpose.
It's just perfect, yeah, sure. It's perfectly spaced out, it's crazy. It seems like it's on purpose.
Yeah, of course speedrunners are gonna abuse that. So another Birdo fight. There you go. Alright, this is a tricky one, by the way, because if you don't hit him as fast as possible, he can start like throwing fire, especially if you take damage. And we're gonna keep Luigi here. And coming, there's gonna be the potion jump. The best way to explain the potion jump is like a shell jump in Super Mario World or Mario Maker. We want to throw the potion at a certain distance from the wall, and for very few frames we can jump back on that potion. Well done right there.
Thank you.
So it saves time, otherwise you have to go under that sand pit and push it, like the sand push you towards the exit. And another Birdo doesn't get hold, huh?
You got a perfect cycle. Depending on the cycles in this game are not frame rate based, but how long it takes from when you turn power on for the game and when you get to the level. So it's a lot harder to time, like what cycle you're going to be on and what frame roll. Like it's technically a frame roll, what pattern you're going to be on. But for that Birdo, we actually got really lucky and got a good pattern.
Here, really quick, we have a $56.11 donation from J9 Game, who says, donating $56.11 to match your world record time. Proud of you supporting a great cause. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for the donation. Very generous.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. Alright, so World 7, this is the last world of the game. There's no World 8 like SMB 1 and 2J that we just saw. Plus, there's no Dash 3, so we have 2 levels to do, and that's it. We're gonna fight the final boss. That's one of them. One thing right there, we're gonna try to abuse the ladder jumps. So when you exit one of the ladder, you have a window. In this case with Luigi, it's 9 frames to jump again. So that's pretty cool. It makes you climb the ladder, the vines, the chains super fast. With the other characters, it's only 3 frames. The window is a little bit smaller. And once again, Birdo.
And also, we can abuse. You see me picking up the mushroom right before I get hit by the fire, and you can actually just clip right through it. You don't have hitbox when you're grabbing a enemy. Yeah, we're switching back over to Toad. This final level makes it a lot easier. Taking up an enemy again, and this is the last level. There is no level after this. And it's also World 7, which is a bit odd. Usually there's 8 worlds in Mario games, but there's 7.
Yeah, this game is different. And one thing that you didn't mention, you mentioned the speed of the character, but also when you pick up items with Toad, it's faster compared to Luigi, Peach, and Mario.
That is true.
So all around, he's faster. The only downfall of Toad is that he doesn't jump as high as the other characters.
That is true, yeah. Right there, we just did a ladder jump. Even though it is a vine, we still call it a ladder jump. And we're skipping over a lot of the level. By doing this, we can actually just get to this this door, which it would usually be, I think, a maze. I'm honestly not even sure. I haven't played this game casually.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Yeah, so instead of doing the maze, we just skip right to basically the last room. And here, our friend, the bird, not our friend, and we have to kill him. Oh, if I can kill him. There we go. We go into his mouth, and then we get to the final section of the game.
Alright, I'm gonna let Pixel concentrate because he's gonna be counting here. Those bubbles that Wart is gonna be throwing and the veggie that are gonna spawn are on a timer, so it's 4.5 seconds. So what you want to do is time yourself to throw the veggie as soon as Wart opens his mouth. This is where he's invulnerable. So by doing that, he will take damage and spawn a veggie at the same time if your timing is right. So as you can see, we can abuse that technique to go really, really fast. 6 hits later,
perfect.
and he's done.
That was a perfect
Really.
fight. So the
Yeah,
choice
man.
for that.
Your 2U is so good. Congrats on that. And we'll be switching to SMB3, so the classic. I love this game. Maybe not this category, but I love this game.
Definitely, yep.
So one of the things to mention about the Marihour challenge that I think we're gonna go into details later, but switching games is kind of a hard part also of the Marihour because the mechanics are different. As you can see here, we're gonna build P-speed. So when we run on flat ground, Mario accelerates compared to the other games. So adjusting on the fly to these change of physics is part of the fun, and it's also part of the challenge of the Marihour challenge. And we're gonna see another example with Mario World, and even going in 3D with Mario 64.
Yeah, it's something you might not even notice from like a casual perspective, just watching the run. But it's very, very difficult to learn all the games. You know, memorize all the levels, the patterns, but also, like Super Mega Dev said, remember what the physics are like for every single game, because they do switch. Other than SMB1 and SMB2J, which do happen to have the same physics, every game is slightly different. So it's very hard to remember how Mario jumps. If you hold left for X amount of frames, how far he's going to move to the left or right. But hey, it's just part of the challenge. That's why we love this category so much.
Exactly. We have a nice question in chat that I want to talk about. The route for this game is any percent no wrong warp. The wrong warp that you see in World 7 is not allowed. The reason is the challenge was created by Darbian in 2015. He sets some rules, and allowing the warp here would have been like easier for the Marihour since you save like 7 minutes or so. So making any percent no wrong warp is definitely a wiser choice for this challenge. So we're gonna pick up 2 whistles, use both of the whistles to get to World 8 and beat World 8 legitimately. So in this castle, this is where we're gonna find the second whistle. We want to build P-speed and keep P-speed. Get the power up, and with the momentum that we just got, we can climb on top of that wall, and just like that, we got the second whistle, and we're going into World 8, auto-scroller heaven, or hell. Depending on your point of view.
Yeah, like Super Mega Dev said, it's auto-scroller time. So yeah, we're gonna use the warp whistle right here, and instead of going to 5, 6, and 7, we're going straight to World 8. Crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna have 2 back-to-back auto-scrollers. If we have donations, that would be an awesome time for that, but otherwise we can chat about the challenge.
Yep. Alright, so time to, this category, if anyone is looking into possibly trying it out, and they want to know a bit more about it, or they're interested in trying it out for themselves, I definitely suggest that you join either my Discord or Super Mega Dev's Discord, or message us in anywhere that we are on Twitch, Twitter, Discord, anywhere like that. We will be more than happy to help you on your journey. This is a very, very fun category. It takes a decent amount of time to learn all the games and do the challenge, but it is very, very fun. And for anyone looking for a long-term goal, challenge for a speed game, I definitely recommend that you try this category. It is very, very fun, and the community is great.
Yeah, especially right now. Right now. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, what I was about to say is that right now in 2020 we had 4 new runners achieving the Marihour. Before that, there were only 3 runners in 4 years. So Pixel early this year achieved it. Then Slade did it a couple weeks ago. I did it, and I need a better Twitch name. Another runner did it a few days ago. So it's really a hot category, and Pixel is still grinding for a world record, which is pretty awesome. So it's a good time to pick it up, for sure.
Definitely, yes. But yeah, more auto-scroller, we love it.
Yeah, and also if you want to learn these individual games, there are practice ROMs available for each of them. Like Pixel said, just message us. We're gonna point you to the right direction. But all the resources are there for you to learn these categories, and it's highly recommended.
We finish one auto-scroller, we're immediately going to another. Thanks, Nintendo.
Yeah, this one is a little bit tricky. We have to use duck jump here to get one of the trickiest power-up grab in the entire game. So the window to get that power-up is super tight. So we want to turn around, get maximum speed, and then crouch jump in the corner, and hopefully get the fire flower. That was well done right there. We want to hold on into this fire flower until the end because we're going to use it to kill Bowser. If we lose it, we have backups of course, but it's going to slow us down. That's the fastest way to do it.
And this fire also, you can defeat a lot of enemies quicker. We're going to fight Boom Boom at the very end of this level, and usually you have to hit him 3 times on the head to kill him. But by using fire, you only have to hit him 5 times, which is a lot quicker than having to hit him 3 times.
By the way, we already have guesses for the hands incoming. Make your guesses in chat. Pixel is going to walk on 3 tiles on the overworld. Each tile has a 50-50 chance of grabbing Mario and forcing him to do another level. The goal is not getting grabbed 1 time, and the odds of achieving that is 12.5%, so 1 out of 8. So make your guess. It's either 0, 1, 2, 3 hands, or even more if it goes awfully. So I hope not.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So, like I've said, hands are coming up. This is probably least fun part about the whole speedrun because it's completely RNG. So it can suck if you get 3 hands and you're on a good pace. First hand.
99%. This hand picks you up every time. This is crazy. Each level loses approximately 20 to 25 seconds. So if you have bad luck and you get all 3 of them, you can lose up to 1:20. So definitely a time save that can prevent you from achieving Marihour. So like Pixel said, this is heartbreaking sometimes. The second one, gosh. That's
hey, maybe we're just getting good luck. You know, we're showcasing 2 out of the 3 hands so far. Maybe it's good. You know, we could showcase the run, show what they are, show what they look like.
Alright, let's see if you're gonna get the 3rd one.
With my luck, we are.
Oh no!
We didn't. Nice.
So 2 hands. So my guess is approximately like 40-45 seconds of time loss. That is not in our control, unfortunately, but. Things like that happen, and we had time to explain it, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And this level right there, another auto-scroller, can be nerve-wracking, especially when you get no hands.
Yeah.
It happened to both of us, me and Pixel.
Too many times.
We got no hands, we arrive at this level, and we die. And the problem is, in the overworld, it takes you back to the pipe at the beginning, right before walking on these 3 tiles. So it's a disaster.
Yeah, this level is hard in itself, and if you're on a good pace and you get 0 hands, and you know you're like 30 seconds ahead of your PB, 30 seconds ahead of record, you're like, oh my god, you know, this could be a really, really good run. I can't mess it up now. And of course, since you're thinking that, you die. Or mess up. You know, that's just how it goes.
Alright, now we're gonna actually be playing level now.
Yes.
8-1 and 8-2. I love those 2.
It's funny because it's named 8-1, but we just played like 5 or 6 levels. But yeah, we're only going into the first true level.
This level is tricky because there's not much room to build up P-speed. So what we want to do is we want to try to build P-speed in this long corridor and try to keep it to the very end. Try again. Okay, so we're not gonna go with the P-speed strat. So all those jumps can be hard to do without speed, since unfortunately, like, you kind of required momentum to reach these gaps. So all in all, it wasn't too bad. Lost fire flower, but there are backups incoming.
Yeah, there is a backup in the castle level. We have 1 more level, and then we're gonna do a castle level. So I'm gonna definitely remember to pick up the fire in castle.
Okay, so 8-2, another level that is not auto-scrolling. This is another fun one. We have the sun appearing right there, and the sun RNG can be annoying. He's gonna drop down and come back up, and sometimes his timing is awful. Like, he's gonna drop down as soon as you're gonna jump, and you're gonna take hit or damage. He was friendly right there, so that's awesome.
Yeah, it's very friendly. Thank you, Angry Sun. Because I took damage earlier in level there. I did not want to do that, but I did. If he hurt me there, I would have died. So yes. I am going to pick up a fire flower, which is right here. And we're back on track. Run.
Oh, nice. This is a maze, by the way. You have to find your way.
Yeah, as you can see, Nintendo definitely likes their mazes. There are a lot in older games.
Especially in the later worlds, it makes it interesting for them to build a level that is not really hard, but it's hard to find a good exit.
For sure.
Alright, so boom, boom, once again. I want to kill him with fire. It's 5 fireball or 3 jumps. 3 jumps is definitely slower since you have to wait for him to like respawn. It is a hitbox respawn. So that's why one reason why we pick up fire. 2 more level and we'll be done with SMD3. Like I said, man, we're breezing through. We're breezing through.
Yep.
And guess what? Another auto-scroller.
Fun. This auto-scroller is nice though because it's actually very simple. If you just hold right the entire time and you jump when you're supposed to jump, it is really, really easy. I didn't know this strat when I first started out and I was like, oh my god, this is such a hard level. How do I do this? There's so many cannonballs. It's really difficult, but if you just hold right and know when there's enemies, know when to jump, know when to throw fire, actually very, very simple.
Oh yeah, it is. There's a name for this strat, but I always forget it, so I'm not gonna mention it because I don't want to mess it up, but there's a name for this strat based on the guy who discovered it. If somebody in chat know it, share it. I'll be curious to read it out loud. Alright, so last auto-scroller, the last level that we're gonna see is the castle, and this one is not auto-scrolling, of course. There are some technical jumps and some clips that we're gonna try to attempt, but so far, auto-scrollers are behind us, or almost. We have one more in Mario World, and that's gonna be it. It's the ratio of auto-scrollers and levels are low compared to other categories.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
cool.
All the auto-scrollers are finished. Now time for the final level, Bowser's Castle.
Okay, so the strat is named the world-famous patented Day 1 affiliate Owlglib Super Tank strat, with a vengeance. Just wanted to say it out loud. Pixel is going to attempt a clip here. If you do a dunk jump in the corner, you can actually clip every place in the game. When you have a corner like that, you can clip. We're going to see another example. It is a little bit easier, clipping in this one-up block. There you go. So when you clip and you stand up, the game is quite confused and pushes you, trying to unfreeze you, and pushes you to the right. So this room is quite hard too. We have to do this little buffer at the start so that we can keep P-speed up until the end. Really well done, man. I love looking at that room when it's well done like that. And the Bowser fight, it's 30 fireballs, or if you lose fire here. Oh, when he shot the fireball at the very end. First time I see it.
Yeah, I've never seen
awesome.
that. He was upside down, but he still threw fire.
Yeah.
Huh. That was new.
That's new. Never happened before in a marathon.
that we're aware of, at least.
Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna be switching, not only game, but console this time. We're switching to the Super Nintendo with Super Mario World. And, yeah, don't look away, man. This game is gonna be crazy, too. The first trick you're gonna see is the cloud glitch. Well, we're gonna attempt to do the cloud glitch.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, there's a technique in Mario World where you can do item swap. You're not supposed to be swallowing charging chucks, but you can do a setup where when Yoshi is eating a coin and you scroll the screen enough so that the charging chuck spawn, you're gonna eat the charging chuck. And since the game is confused and it rewrites the memory, you're gonna gain an item in your item box, and this is also how you will do the credit warp, for instance, in Super Mario World. So the setup, Pixel is lining up for the setup so that we will have the coin. So we have to position Yoshi, and that's
perfect.
Well done, man. This is hard on Marathon, doing it on first try. That's awesome. So the reason why we do Cloud is because we want to use the Cloud in the Bowser fight at the very end of the game to break the sequence. We're gonna get to that later,
Yeah.
but we're not done here because keeping the Cloud is hard too.
It is very difficult. Yep. Also, the at the very top middle, that's the cloud. The jumble of pixels, random like textures. It doesn't look like a cloud because you're never actually supposed to have the cloud in your item box. So the game gets very confused for like the sprite sheet that it has, and it just puts a jumble of pixels and little things. That's why it's never gonna look the same for each level, since each level has a different sprite palette and sprite sheet. It's gonna look different every single time.
Yeah, and the orb glitch is quite similar. We will not be able to see it today, and we're not going to be explaining it that, but if you're interested, there's some knowledge on smwspeedruns.com. This is where all the knowledge is for this game. There's also videos by Set Bling, by Dots Are Cool, ISO Freeze, so feel free to check it out if you're interested in that glitch. So, like we said, like the hardest part about Cloud, well, there are a couple of hard parts, but
a lot of hard
keeping
parts, yeah.
is definitely hard, because when we were gonna get the cape, if we get hit, the behavior of the game is to take the item that you have in spare in your item box and drop it like right away. So even though it's a cloud, the behavior of the game doesn't change. So if we take damage with the cape, we're gonna lose cloud, and there's no way to get it back, except if you go back and actually do it in the first level, which loses tons of time, so we don't want to do that for sure.
Yeah, so right now, if we die, we can actually keep the cloud, since when we die, you don't actually get the power up. But in a bit, we're gonna get an item, the cape, which we're gonna use. And if we take damage with the cape, then that's it. We have to go back and get cloud once more.
And at the end of this level, as you're gonna see, Pixel is not gonna take the checkpoint because the checkpoint gives you the mushroom, so it will change the state of Mario. And the reason why we're skipping that is because when we're gonna get the cape, it's gonna replace the cloud in the item box with the mushroom. So once again, we want to keep it. So we want to fight this boss fight small only. And the way it works, we have to spin jump on him, and we spin jump on him 3 times, and he's gonna drop on the side where the platform is gonna be tilting. So you're gonna be seeing right there. 1, 2, 3. Oh, the last one was tight. As you can see, the Iggy goes on the side that the platform is tilting, so whenever it starts to be like on a straight line, if you continue doing that, you don't know for sure like where he's gonna be going, and it can be annoying, and he goes back and forth.
And I was a little bit too slow there, so I didn't get the fastest cycle there, but managed to still kill him pretty quickly without taking a death, which is very, very nice. But yeah, Mario has defeated the demented Iggy Koopa, and they're now going to Donut Land.
Because the overworld is shaped like a donut. This is pretty cool, actually, that they made references like that. There's Chocolate Island also, and
this is a fun game.
Yeah,
a lot of
really
cool references and everything like that.
All right, let me explain a little bit the route that we're gonna be doing right there. So the key here is to get the cape, get to the secret exit in this level, and the secret exit is gonna take you to a water level where we're gonna do the secret exit once more. And the goal is to reach Star Road as quickly as possible. And by Star World, we're gonna be able to beat 4 levels and get to the Bowser Castle. So there's actually a star right next to Bowser Castle, which makes it possible to beat the game with only 11 exit, hence the name of this category.
And yeah, we're going to be utilizing the cape that I just got on the level a lot. Like you can see right there, we just flew above the entire level, basically abusing it to complete the level very, very quickly. Really nice.
And we got a water level. The water mechanic in Mario World is pretty awesome. If you hold down, you stay still. And when Mario holds an item, we're going to exploit that right there. He's actually swimming faster. So the goal is to get to this dry room, get a Koopa shell, and hold on to it in the water section. Hit the P-switch, and get to the secret exit. So as you can see here, Mario is going so fast compared to the regular swimming. So it saves tons of time. So the goal is hitting the P-switch, so it will bring these blocks to coins, get the key, do the keyhole, just like that. It's done. Another secret exit, and we're heading to the Ghost House. Ghost House is complicated, especially with Cloud. If we take damage, it can be annoying. So just like that. These boo rings are on a global timer. So whenever like we start the game, it's gonna be the same pattern every time. But one problem is the second boo ring in the second room. If we take it too slow in the first room, it's still the same timer. So the placement of the boo ring is gonna be at the same time, at the same place of when you despawn it on the first room. I know it's technical, but
yeah, it's a bit hard to explain.
Global timer.
But basically, in simple terms, go fast and it works. So since I messed up there a tiny bit, the boo ring wasn't where I wanted it to be. So I had to take it a bit slower and do a safer strat. But thankfully I know the backup and it went very, very well.
Exactly. So once again we are getting the secret exit to Star Road.
And we're getting a Blinky Boy as well. That's what I call the Blinky Boy in the middle of the screen. If you pick up one of those objects as the game or the level clears, it just blinks very fast. So I like it. So yeah, Star Road
serve any purpose.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything. It's just another fun swag strat that we'd like to do.
Alright, really quick, we have a $10 donation from Penguin Cast who says, "Let's go Pixel."
Thank you so much for the donation. Wow, thank you,
Thank
Penguin
you.
Cast.
Real quick, just want to remind everybody that we are raising money for charity in this event for Stack Up. Stack Up supports mental health, it supports veterans' mental health through gaming, and you can do Command Charity in the chat to find out all about that. Any and all donations are obviously appreciated because they're going to a great cause. So thank you guys so much for donating. At this point, we're creeping towards the $800 mark, so let's get there.
That's awesome. Thank you everyone for donating, and keep donating. We're gonna be live all weekend.
For a great cause as well. Definitely.
Oh yeah, indeed.
Anything is great. Anything is a great donation.
Indeed. Alright, so just like that, we're already halfway into Star World. So another water level where we used Yoshi to get more speed by holding him. This is the shortest level, I would say, in the entire Marihour.
Yeah, boom, that's it. It's over. That was it.
It's pretty easy to, huh? Alright, and the last one, we're gonna exploit the cape. Once again, the cape is broken in this game. You can actually go up, like when you fly, you can go up, you can go down, you can go on a straight line. So with enough speed, you can go almost anywhere you want. And what we want to do is use this to our advantage to get to the secret exit. Otherwise, you're supposed to get switches that will turn some blocks, like the green and the red one, solid. And we're going to use that right there on the left. But since we don't have time to go there and hit the switches, we're using the cape to get the key in the secret exit.
And once we go to this little star teleporter, we are right next to Bowser's castle. As you can see from the great neon sign that Bowser lit up for us.
So Bowser Castle, you have 2 sets of doors to choose from. The 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to use door 2. With this technique right there, we keep P-speed in the second room, making it possible to fly and actually not have to grab this fence. And we're going to be using door 5, which is the easiest one and the safest one too. So we just have to wait and time ourselves to not get crushed by the crusher. And there are multiple routes, by the way. We have door 7 as well. We're not going to explain it, but there are different strategies for that. And dark room just before the Bowser fight. Real quick, I'm going to explain what we're going to do in the Bowser fight because it goes quickly. I want you to actually know what's going on.
So we're using the cloud, by the way, right here. I just used the item, and we're using, this is the cloud. This is the item that we got at the very beginning of the level. At the very beginning of the game.
Exactly. So if you forgot about it, here it is.
Here it is.
From my understanding, in the technical point, is the cloud shares some memory addresses with the Bowser sequence. So by doing a specific set of inputs while you ride the cloud, it will break the sequence. So usually Bowser go back and forth, left and right, drop the Mecha Koopa, then move on to the next phase, drop fire, etc. So what we want to do is do the sets of inputs at the specific moment where Bowser starts moving, breaks the sequence, get to the next item in the sequence list. So just like that, we're completely breaking this fight, and it saves up to a minute to do this way. But it's quite hard because there's a setup. You can do a thing called ball skip too. So it's quite technical too. There's 3 phases. We're already in the third phases right there. And just like that, man, it saves a ton of time. And for a game like Marihour, for a category like Marihour, it's we have to save as much time as possible. So well done. Like, I had time to explain it, and you did it while I explained it.
Yeah,
it's
we're
perfect.
And now, moving on to SM64, arguably the hardest game in the challenge. First 3D game, and this is a really hard game by itself to speedrun, and also, like we talked about earlier, you know, switching the games, and the physics are different. We just played about 48 minutes of 2D Mario games, and now we have to do a 3D game, which is, it's tricky, it's tough to do, you know? And the category that we're doing here is 1 star. We're only going to collect 1 star the entire SM64. As many of you probably know, usually, whether the game developers intended for you to get 70 stars to complete the game, but we're going to utilize a trick called backwards long jump, or BLJ, which I'm sure a lot of you have already heard of, where basically the developers never put a speed cap for Mario with his backwards momentum. So if you can gain thousands of backward amount of speed, and you can clip through doors and walls that you usually shouldn't be able to clip through. By utilizing this trick, we are going to clip through a door where usually you need 8 stars, but because we're utilizing the trick, we don't even have to have a single star.
This is insane. Like people who discovered that, it's pretty insane. So First trick is the lobby BLJ. So lobby is just the setup. What we want to do is we want to clip in this corner, get maximum speed, and by turning the camera and playing with the camera, we want to turn around, get to the staircase because the door is up there, so it's hard to get there. We have to actually get to the staircase first. So like I said, the lobby is pretty much just a setup. There are different ways to do that, but this is the easiest and most RTA way to actually do the setup. Well, let's you concentrate a bit on that because it's a hard trick. There you go, well done. So turn around, get to the staircase. Boom, just like that. We got through the door and no star. We're already fighting the first Bowser level.
No, I think that was third try, so third try is the charm.
Yeah, not bad at all, not bad at all. It can be definitely a Marihour reset right there. It happens so often. Alright, so let's look a little bit about the mechanic of SM64. I know a lot of people are familiar with speedruns of SM64. It's one of the most popular on speedrun.com. We're gonna try to exploit the long jump and the dive to get as much speed as possible. We don't have much room except in the Bowser levels to use that. It's mostly BLJs and getting really good Bowser level and Bowser throws. So the skill set of Mario in this game is pretty impressive. We have the triple jump, we have the backward jump, the backward long jump, all of that. It's so many stuff you can do, so many ways you can do these levels. Awesome speed. Pixel changed controller right there. He's using the glory pad. It's allowed in this category of SM64. It's easier to spin with the glory pad since the joystick is better.
For those who don't know what the Hori pad looks like, this is the controller I'm using for Bowser throws. This is the regular N64 control I'm using for everything else. The stick is a lot nicer for the Hori. It's basically like a GameCube controller, so it's a lot nicer to do the throws with Bowser, which are usually really, really hard with regular N64 controller.
Alright, then we're heading to the basement, the infamous SBLJ or side backward long jump. Once again, like the LBLJ, the side backward long jump is a setup. What we want to do is line up the camera correctly, try to clip in that tiny staircase, and get to the 30 star door with enough speed that we can clip through it. So this is really precise. This is a trick where usually people who want to do Marihour... Oh man, that was good.
Maybe.
See? It seemed good, it seemed good.
Not over by the door. There we go.
There you go. All right. I was starting to be skeptical about that, but
well.
it happened. First try. Awesome. GG. Let's get some GGs in chat. This is a really pog moment right there. All right. So yeah, the side BLJ is basically a setup. This is technical. We have to turn the camera, maximum speed, get through the door. There's the 0 star setup also. We're not going to talk about that because we have so much more to discuss, but left side of the door makes us go for 1 star, which is much safer for the Marihour, but 0 star is allowed. So here in the water section of DDD, Pixel turns the camera to reduce lag by keeping the sub off screen as much as possible. When the sub is on screen, it creates lag because there's too many polygons. So this is a little technique. We'll get the lone star. Yeah. Only one we're gonna get in
only star we're gonna get in the whole entire game. It's crazy. So yeah, the reason we need to go to DDD, Docs, was because you can see the blue, I guess, plane moved back and revealed the next Bowser level. Bowser in the Fire Sea.
Kind of technical level. This is like the other where it's pretty much platforming. There's one section at the very end, an elevator going back and forth, up and down. What we want to do is go as fast as possible to try to reach the perfect sequence. We're not gonna go for the 0 cycle. We're gonna go for the 2nd cycle, which is much safer. But there's a setup. Wow!
Wow, that was something.
That was weird. And you stayed there for a while before.
Yeah. Huh. Okay, so that was definitely something. Gonna have to restart back at the beginning, but that's alright.
That's okay, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, we get to
showcase that.
Yeah, we get to showcase that weird mechanic.
So yeah, we want to go as fast as possible, but not the fastest possible way in Marihour. Like I said, we're not gonna go for the faster cycle. We're gonna see this section. right after, right there. This is the section, the elevator.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait a tiny bit because usually, if you're going for the fastest cycle, you wouldn't have to wait here at all. But it's a really difficult trick to get, and I do go for it occasionally, but it's not reliable enough to go for on really good runs or marathon runs just yet.
Yeah, because we didn't talk about that, but we are at minute 55 of the Marihour. So imagine being on Marihour pace, having to do SBLJ, LBLJ, Fire C on first cycle. This is nerve-wracking. Everybody who's been on Marihour pace at this point knows that feeling. This is hard. So we want to go with the like low risk, high reward strats, and this is an example right there with Fire C. Nice little troll missed by just a little bit, and this Bowser can be annoying because when he jumps back and it kills the level, and if you're not well positioned, you can fall, and you have to restart doing this Bowser fight. It's only one throw, one bomb, that's it. The only instance where we have to kill Bowser 3 times is in the final stage. We're gonna see in about like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, something like that. So we have a couple more tricks to be showcasing in the Marihour. It's not done. This is hype run. Let's be excited in chat. I know everybody wants the Marihour, so let's go. Let's show some excitement. We are near it. Just a few more levels to do. So one of the reasons why we go back, well, the reason why we go back in the levels is because we clipped to get to Fire C and Dark World and all these places. So since we clipped to get through these doors, we cannot exit. But by exiting inside the level, it warps you back to the lobby. So that's why we go back in the level, exit, and get to the next section. So 50-star BLJ, a little bit like the other BLJ, but the setup here is a little bit more friendly. We want to try to start mashing. We do this long jump. We want to start mashing when Mario's feet is touching the staircase. So that was well done. Second try was really well done, and we're going to repeat that to get the infinite staircase. Usually here we need 70-star in order to get to the final Bowser. But by going to maximum speed, we will skip the trigger that checks for if you completed the 70-star. Well done, just like that. We're at bits.
Yeah,
So
final
fast.
level of the game.
Man, this is crazy. It's going so fast, man. 6 games, and this is it. This is the ending. So bits can be technical on Marihour pace, and even on marathon pace like that. Pretty technical stage for every speedrunners at this point. 70 stars, 60 stars, 120 stars, Marihour. If you're on a good pace and you do bits, you know how stressful it is. There's so many ways to fall down, so many ways that the run can die here. So you want to, like I said, try to take the low risk, high reward approach. And well done, triple jump on the pole to skip a little section, otherwise we have to go to get another pole at the end of this section. Almost there, almost to the Bowser stage.
Yeah.
And like I said, 3 throws, and that's it. Timing one hand, touching the star at the end of Mario 64. And the throws, we didn't talk about it especially, but there's no momentum on the throw. You have to let go of the button as soon as Bowser's face is facing the bomb. So there's no momentum where you just try to guess where you're really throwing. You want to keep a straight line. As soon as Bowser is on the straight line, you shoot.
Bowser throws are really, really tough, especially at the very end of the run. They're really, really precise. And each one loses a decent amount of time.
When Bowser go back on the stage, you lose part of the level. It can be tough also if you miss one of the throw. Alright, so let's resettle. Let's resettle, I believe. So after 2 throws, all the level is gonna collapse.
It's tough.
Alright, you can do it, you can do it.
Come on, Bowser.
It's one at a time.
There
we go. This is gonna hit. Yeah, there we go. 1. 2 more. Wanna try to find the bomb. Place yourself in the straight line. That's 2. 1 more. The level is gonna start to collapse. Tons of lag. This last one is hard.
Yeah, there's a lot of lag when the platforms are dropping down. I didn't get the best camera angle either. Uh-oh, Bowser's in a very bad position.
Yeah, it's tough to circle around and then get him. Like, I still still good. I think it's friendly for that bomb right there. There we go. I think it's gonna hit.
Third,
There
yeah.
we go. That's 3.
There we go.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is Marihour.
Did it.
They have a 59. Unbelievable.
So we just
Unbelievable.
completed 6 individual Mario games in 59 minutes.
Boom, timing.
17 seconds. We'll go with that.
Congratulations. Honestly, this is impressive.
Here we go. So we did it. Thank you
Any
to
thoughts,
GSA. Yeah. I mean, that run was something. That run was definitely something. Bowser throws, I wish they went a bit better. But hey, I'm really happy about how that run went. Thank you to GSA for having us showcase this run. I really, really appreciate it. This is a really fantastic run to show off, so I'm really glad we got to showcase it here. And yeah, I'm really happy about how this run went. Again, ! charity to support the cause and to donate. Any donation is very, very important. So yeah, thank you to GSA, thank you to Super Mega Dev for helping me commentate. I could not have done it without you.
My pleasure. Want to do some shout out to the Marihour runners?
Definitely.
Let's go. Let's do it. I'll let you do it.
Alright, so the people who have gone Marihour so far are me, PixelPerfectRuns, which is, you know, me, Super Mega Dev, the commentator, Slade, I Need a Better Twitch Name, and 3 people who got it 4 years ago, Darbian, Lack Attack 24, and Cosmic. So shoutouts to everyone who got the Marihour challenge. Anyone who wants to, definitely make sure to let us know. We will be happy, more than happy, to help you with the run.
Awesome.
Thank you again to the GSA for letting us showcase the run, and best of luck
Restored to the castle.
the other runners.
All right, thanks, guys.